to our channel. I know it's been a while since we uploaded a last.
But now we're here, and here's a movie.
We're here in October watching scary movies. And, yeah, I don't know if I would categorize this as a scary movie, but we watched it. It is on Shudder. It was at some film festivals, but now Shudder has it as a Shudder exclusive.
And
Shudder.
one thing I can tell you about this movie for sure, it's 98 minutes long.
Shudder is a streaming service. It's like $5.99 a month. But you can watch our video and we'll tell you all about this movie because it'll save you 98 minutes.
Oh, it will.
It is a foreign film.
From Denmark.
And I can say that a lot of foreign films are really good. You should watch more foreign films. But you shouldn't waste your time on this one. It's called Speak No Evil.
Unless you enjoy just feeling really uncomfortable for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And if you do, then more power to you.
It's a very disturbing movie. There is spoilers in this review. Is it a Danish movie or is it a Dutch movie?
Danish.
It's a Danish movie. So I just have to ask. I hate profiling different countries based on characters in movies, but I just have to ask the Danish and the Dutch people out there, are you okay? Just wanting to know, based on this movie alone, you said a lot of Danish movies tend to be on the dark side, right?
Yeah, some that I've seen, mentions of.
Yeah, so I don't know. This movie, yeah, wasn't, like I said, it wasn't scary. There are some horror elements in it, and there is a really gross scene that they do not take off camera. You actually see it happen, and yeah, they show it in gory detail, and there's a lot of like, why did you make that decision?
The movie was somewhat of a horror movie and somewhat of a movie that just made me want to slap all the characters in it, except for the little girl and the little boy.
It's like, why did you make that decision? Why are you doing what you're doing at moments? It's considered a social satire.
I don't think we understand enough about Denmark and the Netherlands to understand why this would be a social satire. But I'm sure that it's very biting and incisive.
Through a lot of the movie, they're speaking English, but I still had to have the subtitles on.
Yeah, they kind of go back and forth. I think English is what a lot of them use. They have that's their common language. They speak it okay, and that way they don't have to learn 15 different languages.
I don't know if this movie
or maybe just in movies.
I don't know if this movie won any awards. Does it say on there or anything like that?
It doesn't say.
I don't know. I think it's still considered a relatively new movie out there. But, I don't know. I can't recommend this movie. But let's talk about it anyway.
Okay.
Do you want to start?
Sure. So overall, it's a fairly formulaic kind of thriller movie. Some people have some friends that they don't know all that well. They go to stay with them, and things gradually unravel.
Okay. First of all, I got to stop you there. They meet these people, this Danish couple, meet this Dutch couple on vacation in Italy.
Right.
And then
they don't know them very well. They've only seen them on that one vacation.
And then the Dutch couple,
they hit it off more or less, and then the Dutch couple invites them to come stay with them for like a week. And
they agree. Now,
initially they're kind of like, I don't know. And then one of their friends says, "Oh, you can drive there. It's just 8 hours or something." And they're like, "Oh, okay, if we can drive."
Okay, being an American that I am, and being the kind of person that I am, I would not do this.
Well, if you did have to do this, let's say that you're some friends and you want to go spend a week with them, you wouldn't necessarily sleep in the friend's house that you don't know all that well.
I don't sleep in people's houses unless they're my parents or
unless
his
they're like
parents.
Family or something, usually.
Even a lot of family, I wouldn't stay in their houses.
But, I mean, so I think, like, a lot of people, they would be like, well, okay, we'll go see them, but we'll stay in a hotel.
Or just go on another vacation together
or
something.
Of course, if they stayed in a hotel, it wouldn't be the movie that it is, so.
But that's the first red flag. Why did you do this?
I found myself questioning the victimized characters. It's like I guess we'll call them the good guys, even though they weren't all that great.
It's like the dumb characters.
Yeah.
Okay, the Danish couple, they're named Bjorn and Louisa and their daughter Agnes. The Dutch couple is Patrick and I can't remember his wife's name, and their son Abel. They kept calling him. Okay.
Karen.
Yeah, that's her name.
Karen with an I.
Okay.
Karen.
Okay. Go ahead. Be a little more detailed.
Okay. So they go to the people's house to go hang out with them in, the Dutch countryside for a week. And, like they're planning to go to restaurants and let the kids play together because Abel apparently missed Agnes, and really wanted to see her again. And, go to the farmer's market, and do all the kinds of things, maybe drink some, the sort of things that people do to entertain themselves at home if they have company over, not a lot of they're not going to go, to nightclubs and stuff, So, they get there and they kind of settle in and everything's kind of okay at first. And then the first issue becomes that Abel doesn't have a tongue. And they say, oh, yeah, that he was born without a tongue. It's like, okay, I've never heard of that, but okay, sure.
You'd think they would have noticed this on vacation.
Yeah, you kind of think they would have. Think it would have come up, that your kid doesn't talk, The other odd thing is thinking about is like, from a plot standpoint, it's like, if the kid can't really talk all that well, it's like, does he not write, And could he not write a note to the people and say, hey, this is not a good idea that you're having right now to go stay here. But I've seen how this turns out.
Things happen, like they go to, first thing is, Louisa is vegetarian or pescatarian, really, and they force her to eat meat.
Not like strap her down and force her, but push her until she agrees.
Make her uncomfortable,
and us also. But the whole first half of the movie really is people, the Dutch couple being Patrick and Karen being pushy and gradually and relentlessly pushy, and basically making the other characters and us, more and more uncomfortable as they kind of lean into it. They go out to dinner and he gets drunk and he's kind of stumbling around and
he drives them home drunk.
Like Louise is in the shower and he just kind of wanders in and wanders out, brushes his teeth, and stuff like that. And it also becomes evident that he has a bit of a temper, especially when he's drinking.
Yeah, and he's kind of mean to his son.
Yeah, they're mean to the kid. So that's kind of where it's going. And then the first out basically is that after they have the night out and the drunken dancing and the creepiness and the drunk driving and all that, Louise decides that she's had enough of that, and so she says, let's get out of here. So they pack up and they're heading out, and this is plot look ahead here. Agnes has a little bunny that she loses very early in the movie, and the dad has to go find it. So again, she can't find the bunny. So they're nearly out, and they're trying to convince her, like, we'll get another bunny. The bunny's gonna be happy living with, the other kid and everything. But Bjorn decides, okay, fine, I'll turn around and go get the bunny. So he turns around. The other couple still haven't woken up yet. As far as they know, they kind of just rushed out early in the morning without telling them. But they go back, and then of course they get caught, and then it's like we just want to know what we did wrong. We just want to make you comfortable here. We were having such a good time with you. Why would you leave like this without saying goodbye? It's like, we're just a little different from you, when we get drunk and grope each other at a restaurant. That's just how we express our love, and maybe we scream at our kid with no tongue sometimes, but who doesn't? And you really should stay. We're gonna
have fun today.
We really want you to stay. And so they're like, Oh, okay, fine, mistake.
Okay, red flag number 2.
Yeah.
You should have just told him you had a family emergency.
Yeah, you should just weasel out of. Did the Danes not know how to weasel out of things? It seems like they don't. At least this guy doesn't. And so, so it kind of takes more of a turn from there. And, there's a bit where he goes and drives out with the guys, go drive out together and go scream at some sort of rock quarry or something, and it's like, it's like a bonding moment.
Yeah, they start to bond more.
They start to bond a little bit. It's like, oh, they're both repressed wild men or something like that, even though Bjorn clearly is not a wild man of any sort.
He thinks he is.
He thinks he is, though. And so, then they go back, and then there's this whole thing. It's getting cute then. It's like they're having a nice dinner, and then or lunch or something, and then the kids have been playing, and it's all cute, and it's like, oh, they want to show us a dance that they did or something. And so the Agnes little girl, turns on music, and they've got little costumes, and they're doing some kind of random kid dance, But they're trying to do it in synchronize, and, they're trying to do it together, and Abel can't keep up with it. He doesn't have a rhythm. And so Patrick gets madder and madder at him and tells him to stop and start it over. And he's got the boombox. He keeps shutting off the music and yelling at him and telling him to do it over. Finally Agnes has enough, and she sits down, and he's like, well, you stay, you do it right. You need to reach your potential. And the kid's crying and stuff. And finally they flip out on him. They're like, what is wrong with you people?
Finally.
Yeah, finally. Like, what is wrong with you people? Why are you being like this to your kid? This is the most feeling, really, they ever show in the movie. When the bad stuff is happening to them later, they don't show near this much emotion, oddly enough. But at that point, then, they're kind of like, okay, so we're going to go to bed now. So then things get worse because there's weird noises, and Bjorn can't sleep, and so he starts wandering around. He doesn't know what's going on. And then he finds out that, surprisingly enough, these people like to lure people to their house, kill them, take their stuff, and keep their kid.
And
cut the kid's tongue out. Yeah. So I guess they can't tell, people that you think that, people would notice that the kid had a different kid like every 6 months or something, but, maybe, the Dutch just kind of keep to themselves in matters like that, But, so, basically he finds that Patrick drowned his kid, and he finds all these pictures of all the other tourists. It's funny when he opened that thing, there's like all these suitcases lined up.
Yeah.
All these cameras, it's like this trophy room and all these pictures. And it's like the whole thing was like he said he didn't work. So, I started to figure, okay, well, this is what they do to make ends meet. They steal people's stuff and stuff. It's like apparently he keeps all this stuff, or at least the camera and the cameras in the suitcase, which you think would be the stuff you could get money for. And so it's like, he just keeps all. It's like maybe he's just got some tulip money or something that he's rolling around in. That would kind of make more sense. Maybe they can sell their cars and stuff too, I guess. But again, you think people would notice after a while, because apparently they've been doing this for like years, and there's like 50 people that they've done this with.
Yeah.
But they keep trading in the kids, so they kill the old kid and then steal a new kid. But so he's like, oh, that's not good. And so he runs back to his family. He's like, we're getting out of here right now. We're getting out of here. It's like early in the middle of the night. Yeah, no explanation. No like, hey, he just killed his kid and he's probably going to kill us. Let's leave. So it's like, no, we need to go. We need to go. It's like, this is probably something that you should share with
Red flag number 3. Doesn't tell his family.
Yeah.
Why they're leaving.
Yeah, which becomes a problem later because basically they drive out and they stop for gas. Red flag number 4. At some point, you probably should have notified the authorities that you were staying at somebody's house and there's evidence that he's like a serial killer, that they're a serial killer and child kidnapper, multiple child kidnapping. This is something the authorities like to know about, just, FYI. And so they don't do that. They don't call anybody, even though they're presumably traveling where their cell phones have reception at this point, So this is one of those ones where it's like they don't have cell phones or something, They're back in town enough to where they can get gas, so, and presumably they drove there, so they know where things
they should have a phone at the gas
they should have been
station.
able to find something, and told some people, hey, we might be chased by these people that are nuts and want to kill us and steal our kids, so, can we, hang here with you guys for a bit, and call the police, please. None of that happens. Instead, they're driving some more, and Patrick and Karen apparently come up on them in their car, and they kind of panic and go off the road and drive off some, into a field or something.
Get stuck in the car.
Get stuck. Now, here's the ultimate bad choice of the film. Now, you're in a car, stuck with your family, and these people are coming that you haven't told your family about, but they're coming to probably kill you and steal your kid. Okay. This would be a good point to say, hey, by the way, the reason we left is that they're going to kill us and steal our kid. But, there's no time for that, apparently. So he says, you guys stay here in the car. I'm going to go walk to that house that you can barely see the light of in the distance and ask for help. Now, other possible alternative plans might have been you all go for help. You tell them that they're in horrible danger from the people that are coming after them, so they shouldn't trust them and go with them. That's an important thing for them to know, possibly. And all the other stuff about calling the police. At some point, it may have been advisable to find some sort of improvised weapon or two and get up, since you know that they're going to murder you. So, but he doesn't do any of that. So he goes and he falls in a ditch near the house and he yells at the house. There's no one at the house, of course. And then he goes back to the car. And of course, they're gone. Naturally, because, Patrick showed up and, oh my God, you guys ran off the road. Are you okay? Well, you would come with me. It's like, well, gosh, we haven't been told any reason why we shouldn't go with you, so okay. And they do. So then he runs into them, and he's all he runs into Patrick, and they're all in the car together, and he's standing outside of the car with Patrick, and Bjorn's just like,
please don't kill me and my family.
Yeah, please don't kill me and my family. It's like, oh, we'll just do what we tell you, and we won't kill you and your family, There's no weapons being brandished here. There's no guns or anything. He punches Bjorn a few times at one point.
Tell your family to get out of the car and run away.
Yeah, maybe run or fight to the death. That's always an option. But so they don't do any of that.
Nobody's holding a gun to your head.
Yeah. The only weapon that shows up at one point is the scissors. I think they stab at Bjorn with the scissors at one point. But
these are house scissors. These do not even look sharp.
She was complaining that the scissors were dull earlier in the movie.
Yeah, which is why I don't believe what happens next.
Yeah, so the thing that happens next then is they're like, where are we going? It's like, shut up, and the wife is all of a sudden starting to get a clue that maybe all is not as it seems, and this is not a good place for her to be. Possibly Bjorn could have clued her in on that. We'll never know. But, so they start to freak out a little bit. And then they're like, oh, shut up. And then they stop the car. Then, I think Bjorn gets punched at that point. Then this guy that was babysitting, this weird guy that was babysitting the kids earlier that they just kind of sprung on them when they went to the restaurant. All of a sudden opens the door and starts to try to drag the wife out. She's in the back with the kid and he's throttling her. And Bjorn is sitting paralyzed with fear in the front seat doing nothing.
Doing
absolutely nothing. Basically just waiting for it to be over, Meanwhile, in the back, the woman is holding the daughter's mouth open with her hands, pries her jaw open, and Patrick pulls out the scissors and reaches in there and snips her tongue right off.
And you get to see it all.
And the blood spray. Now, you think at this point...
You can't do this with house scissors.
Well, yeah. But you think, at this point, he's, horribly mutilated your child. This might be the point at which you, get a little fighting spirit. Maybe try to hurt him or kill him. Especially since this was the point at which Bjorn, he was hunched over. He was focused on the scissors. Obviously, what they were going to do with the scissors, This would have been a good point to say, reach up and grab a double handful of the guy's hair and throw all your body weight into it and yank his head down and back and twist as hard as you possibly can. Just an idea. Or something. This would have been a good point to do something.
Okay, so they take the daughter, and if I was the mother, I would be clawing this woman's eyes out.
Yeah.
She's sitting there crying.
Well, she's freaking out in the backseat, but she's not, attacking the woman in the backseat with her, which you think you would, It's kind of they're like, well, our child is gone now and tongueless. We might as well just give up.
Okay, so they drive to the quarry. Let's move this on.
So they're driving where are you taking us? And they take him to the rock quarry or whatever where they, had their screaming thing earlier, foreshadowing. and they have him tell him, get out of the car. He's like, why are you doing this to us? And Patrick's like, because you let me. Now, take off all your clothes and get in the pit. Again, no weapons being brandished or anything, and they agree to it really quickly. They don't even argue about it. They just start taking off all their clothes, and then they climb meekly down into the pit. And they kind of stumble around for a minute, and then they kind of, start to embrace each other. Like, what's going on? And it's at this point that they start getting hit with rocks, because that's what they were going to do, is throw big rocks at them when they were down in the pit and kill them with the rocks, which they do.
Now, we've talked a lot about destroying the human race, but have either of you thought about how we do it?
I thought we'd use rocks.
Rocks.
Lots of rocks.
No, you idiot! I'm gonna use rocks.
I've collected many rocks.
Rocks. No rocks.
So, I'm not sure if this was supposed to be a film showing how Dutch people are evil, or that Danish people are spineless and have no fighting spirit, but watching this movie kind of made me want to have both of them kicked out of NATO. And so I don't know if this is rooted in something, I saw some things saying there's a lot of European people don't like the Dutch for some reason. I don't really know why. But, it's do they have some kind of grudge with the Dutch? Is this some kind of symbolic thing about the cheese trade or something, or...
It might not even have to do anything about nationalities.
But as a straight story, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just this is a thriller, killer kind of story, except the bad guys don't really have to lift a finger much, and the good guys basically just roll over and take it, Be like in one of the Scream movies, if the guy's like, I'm here now, I'm going to hold out this knife and run and throw yourself on it. Because, I'm kind of lazy. Okay.
As a social satire, is it supposed to talk about different parenting?
Yeah, we don't really know what it was supposed to be satiring, Maybe if we knew, Danish and Dutch, and, maybe we could understand what was going on with it. But, basically just people being uncomfortable and inexplicable and, then getting killed.
Okay, another problem I had with this movie is the music. They would have the most ominous music.
Music was kind of heavy-handed.
They would have the most ominous music playing at the most awkward times.
Yeah, it's there's nothing bad going on. And it's not even the kind of foreshadowing music that they play at the start of a lot of movies to kind of, let you know that nothing good is going to happen in this movie. It was more
Just as they were at their daughter's
dinner, or
they're at their daughter's concert and they're playing this music.
Yeah, and it's we saw the summary, we know that bad things are going to happen to these people. You don't need to pound us over the head with it,
Did not like the choice of music.
Yeah. And there wasn't really a lot of other foreshadowing or character development that would have made the second half of the movie make any sense at all. If some sort of traumatic thing had happened to Bjorn before, and and that's why he's all paralyzed with fear, or whatever. There's nothing to explain it. They're just oh, okay, this happened. Oh, okay, well, we're gonna die now. Okay.
Yeah, nothing explains why they act the way they act.
And also, nothing really explains why they would go to all of this trouble to find people to get these new kids and then kill the kid and swap it out again in 6 months.
Why are they doing
this? What's the point of all this, except, just for the kicks of it? But if they're doing the kicks, it's wouldn't they stretch out the violence a little more? It was almost businesslike. It's get in the pit. All right. We're running behind people. Get in the pit. All right, throw the rocks. They're still not dead. I got to get back. It's getting late. Throw the rocks. Okay, fine. Okay, all right.
Okay, have you seen this movie?
If so, we're sorry.
Let us know down below in the comments if you thought this movie was interesting from what we told you. Let us know down in the comments. Just let us know what you think in general. And why you think this movie was made.
If the answer is to make people uncomfortable and make them dislike both the Dutch and the Danes, then, well done.
If you are Dutch or Danish? Give us some insight.
Yes, what social thing would this be satirizing? We don't know, really. They talk a lot about cheese at one point. That's really about it, They kind of mention things here and there, but they don't flesh any of them out, to kind of make it make sense at all for the characters.
If you have any suggestions for movies we should watch, leave them down in the comments.
So what would you give this movie?
Oh, yeah. I would definitely give this movie a 4 out of 10.
Oh, a 4 out of 10.
Sure. I like disturbing movies.
I would give this movie a 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
It succeeded in making me feel something, and that something was uncomfortable and then angry with all of the characters.
Yeah, I definitely thought about it long after it was over.
Yeah, it definitely sticks with you because you're just like, what is wrong with these people? Both sets of them, This movie makes you hate all the characters in it except for the kids.
Okay, we need to wrap this up.
Right.
So
wrapping it up.
Okay. Like I said, if you have any suggestions, I'll leave them down in the comments. Let us know what you think. Okay. We hopefully will see you sooner rather than later.
And if you want to see a better, Nordic horror movie, possibly go look at The Ritual, which involves a scary sort of ancient deer god in the forest.
Okay. All right. We will see you soon. Goodbye.